Calling all products linked to the Listeriosis outbreak. This after Enterprise Foods and Rainbow Chicken were yesterday found to be the source of the national outbreak that has seen the death of 180 people. The Health Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, says the total number of cases reported has risen to over 940. One of the companies implicated, Tiger Brands, is expected to brief the media this afternoon.
It was traced from Soweto. We didn't just rush to Polokwane at random.
So it was traced from here?
Yes, it's traced from here because 9 kids under the age of 5 in a crash in Soweto started suffering stomach aches, vomiting, fever. They were rushed to Krisani Baragwanath Hospital. They were found to have listeria. When we tested their food, we found that that food, the source of that food, because it was polony and chicken, they were coming from Enterprise and Rainbow. There are legislation that is being applied, and it's not applied by one department. It will be applied from the environmental section of municipalities, from trade and industry, from the National Consumer Council, from the Department of Agriculture. Each one has got a legislation they control, and that is being applied now. For instance, agriculture will take away their export certificates. The National Consumer Commission will tell them that you can't produce until you have met this and that standards. So it means they'll have to close up for some time and start cleaning up and start meeting those standards.
Well, for more on this, we crossed our reporter Mahlako Komane. She joins us from Germiston again. Mahlako, good afternoon to you. We've seen people arriving at the food plants throughout the morning. They've been asking for refunds. They're asking for some kind of recourse to be made available to them. Take us through what you've heard.
Well, Natasha, we've been here since the morning, and in the morning there was a little bit of not a clear strategy as to what was happening. The people that had come here earlier on just gave their products, but there was no cash that they got. But later on, we saw a Fidelity car coming in, probably dropping off money, and people that have been coming in since then are getting cash in hand. They're giving back their products, and they're being refunded according to the value of those products.
All right, you also spoke to some small business owners at some spaza shops around the area. How have they been affected? What are they saying?
Well, small business seems to not be doing so well. We spoke to a lady earlier on in Benoni that was predominantly sells kotas. She says on a daily basis she sells roughly about 50 kotas on a day. But since yesterday's announcement, this morning there has been no sales of kotas, and she was particularly worried because she felt like she did not know exactly what was the plan, what was the way forward, how are businesses like hers going to survive with this announcement, and also the uncertainty of not knowing when will it be business as usual, because at the moment people are obviously scared to be eating these brands, these processed meats. And there was also another interesting story that we spoke to a lady that fries fed cook on the side of the road. She also sells your Russians and your Mongolas with those fed cooks, and she was saying that she hadn't actually heard about this announcement that was made, this recall that is ongoing, and she'd only heard it from some of her consumers, but other people had bought. But she was also concerned that when the news settles in and everybody knows what's going on, what is it that's going to become of this? Because she said that she was making roughly about 250 rand a day on your polonies, your Russians, your livers, and that type of processed meat stuff.
All right, Mahlako, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for that. Mahlako Komane live for us from that plant in Germiston, where, of course, we are expecting a little bit later to hear more from these food plants that will be giving a media briefing this afternoon. But our reporter in Polokwane